Hi, my name's Jackie Haller, and today I'm going to film for my practical assessment for my Circ 4 in fitness, the special populations component. Now, the practical assessment that I had shown previously was for a client without any injuries or any kind of medical issues there that came up either on the health screen or while chatting with Alia. However, some of those exercises that we did do would not be appropriate or would need to be modified for certain groups of people. For example, somebody who has high blood pressure. Now, high blood pressure is classified as a systolic reading of 140 or over and a diastolic reading of 90. So 140 over 90 would be considered to be of a high blood pressure. If you had a male client who was 45 years or older, or a female client who was 50 years or older, it would be wise to either take their blood pressure for them or get a screening done by their doctor just to make sure that they were right, that they weren't suffering from that kind of issue, and that they were right to start to exercise. So in the case of going through those exercises with somebody with high blood pressure, for example, you wouldn't be using a heavy weight for any of those exercises. So we did a squash using a barbell and chest press and a row. So you would do only light weights and perhaps even body weight for the squat itself, so that you're not putting that client in any danger. You want to avoid them from putting themselves in a I guess almost like a brace position where they're holding their breath, which can happen when they're under load. Another thing that you would want to avoid is having that person, I guess, in an inverted posture. So you don't want them with their feet over their heads. Another thing is with cardio exercises. So Alia was on the spin bike, which was fine in the row. That would be okay. However, you'd want to make sure that you kept an eye on their heart rates there. So their heart rate, to take someone's maximum heart rate, it's 220 minus their age, and you would take a 60% of that reading would be the maximum heart rate that you'd want a client to be at if they had high blood pressure. So any kind of exercise, cardio exercise, would be okay as long as you were able to get them to assess that they were feeling okay with that one. In the case of cardio, the best thing to do is to do almost like a circuit style training, where you are taking them for getting there, doing some cardio activity, and then moving on to some kind of resistance or strength training activity, or endurance training there, and then going back to cardio. In fact, endurance training with weights is one of the better forms of strength training for somebody with high blood pressure, as opposed to lifting heavy weights. Another area I'd like to look at is somebody with a knee injury. So a knee injury is any pain that's felt in the knee area, so either at the anterior or the posterior of the knee, or the medial or lateral. Left or right, doesn't matter. So this could be caused from injury, deterioration, arthritis, wear and tear, cysts, that kind of thing, damage to it. If you had somebody with a knee injury, you certainly wouldn't get them to do any jumping activities. Running would also be something that you would probably rule out as well. So for the cardio component of my assessment, Alia was on the spin bike, which would be fine for somebody with a knee injury because there's no impact to the knee. However, you would probably avoid putting somebody with a knee injury on the rower, as they're well, especially for, I guess, a period of time, because there can be a fair bit of wear and tear to the knee there. Also, lunging, you wouldn't get a person to lunge if they had a knee injury. Rather, you would get them to do the squat. So the squat that I took Alia through would be fine. For somebody with a knee injury, you would maybe just do body weight, see how they go, build that strength up, and then move on to doing using some weight from there. You can do lunges with someone with a knee injury, as long as their injury isn't too bad, but you would definitely be watching the tracking of that knee, and you'd be wanting to build up the strength of the ligaments certainly before you did any kind of lunging with them. So when they were doing their squats, you'd be watching the tracking of the knee, getting them to focus and maybe do it in front of a mirror so that they can watch that tracking themselves and stand in front of them. Walking, calf raises are all good for somebody with a knee injury also. And you would also encourage them to stretch the IT band as well. That can give a lot of relief. A lower back pain, is another area that I want to look at. So lower back pain is any type of pain that's felt in the lower thoracic region of the spine, and it can be caused from a variety of reasons. So arthritis, injury, herniated disc, general inflammation, that type of thing. Squats, deadlifts would be something that you would avoid with somebody with any kind of lower back pain, as well as crunches, because that puts a high load on the spine. So in the case that I had with Ali, I wouldn't be getting her to do a squat with the barbell over her, certainly at all. We'd find some kind of alternate leg exercises there, so maybe more something that in a sitting position there. You would do some strengthening exercises for somebody with a lower back pain, so bracing, holds, to try and build up that core strength so that they can get that support through their back. Walking is a great exercise in cardio. Rowing, I had earlier on the rower before, again, probably wouldn't do that with somebody with lower back pain, but spin bike would be one that would be okay. And then again, body weight exercises, again, building that strength up, and then going more into the endurance type of weight training rather than anything too heavy. Thank you.